What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Sean O'Malley's coach fires back at Merab Dvalishvili. While Merab Dvalishvili and Sean O'Malley are set to compete against one another at UFC 306, the Machine and O'Malley's coach, Tim Welch, have developed a feud of their own over the past few months. Recently, O'Malley and Dvalishvili got into a heated exchange that saw the Machine threaten to slap Welch. In response, O'Malley suggested that the #1 contender try to slap Welch and see what happens. During a recent appearance on Submission Radio, Welch fired back at Dvalishvili.
Initially, I thought it was because I said we're going to target his nose in an interview, which isn't a lie. I mean, it's not a lie. And I've never really said fight words to those guys. But then Merab tweeted out and said, next time I see you, I'm going to take care of it or something. And it's like, come on, brother. I haven't trained martial arts my whole life for a little 5'4" guy to try to punk me out. I've trained my whole life, and I'm only 34 years old. I'm 6 foot, 195 pounds. It's like, all right. Well, we'll see what happens.
With just over a month to go until the O'Malley-Dvalishvili fight on September 14th, Welch also shared his prediction for the bout, predicting an early win for O'Malley.
Like I said, I mean, we're always preparing for the worst. We're preparing for a 5-round battle and having to fight off 100 Merab takedowns. But if I had to bet money, Merab's going to come out there stiff. He's going to force a takedown. If he doesn't force a takedown, he'll never get a takedown. He's going to try to force a takedown, and Sean's going to he's going to piece him up. He's going to clip him. And if I had to bet, I would bet Sean KOs him in the first round.
Whoever wins the fight will then shift their focus to Umar Nurmagomedov, who is set to be the new #1 contender at 135 pounds. Next up, let's take a look at Conor McGregor goes off on Khabib and Michael Chandler. Former US President Donald Trump recently named Khabib Nurmagomedov his favorite UFC fighter while speaking in a recent video. The comments were quick to circulate around the MMA world, given that Trump has a close relationship with Colby Covington, who many fans expected to be Trump's favorite fighter. The comments also caught the attention of Conor McGregor, who responded to the video by severing ties with Trump and taking aim at Nurmagomedov in a post on Monday, where he wrote, "Campaign-ending decision. A smelly fat mountain monkey from the inbred mountains of Dagestan is your favorite UFC American company fighter? Wow, abysmal." McGregor then followed it up with another post, correcting himself from a previous post made on July 13th, where he called Trump a multi-billionaire, writing, "I was actually wrong. Couple $100 million he is worth, not multi-B. I would have thought USA only would be the mentality here, and what I would want to see out of my president personally. To pick a retired inbred fighter from Dagestan, Russia, who has 3 main events only to his name, is astounding. Over all the American fighters that have backed him, it's a shocking decision. He was caught on the spot. That won't go unnoticed on the roster. This presidential race is very tight right now. More so now." McGregor had previously praised Trump back in July for running for president out of love for his country when he could have been off enjoying retirement. However, from the sounds of things, the former champ is no longer behind Trump after the former president's recent praise of Khabib Nurmagomedov. McGregor then shifted his focus to Khabib Nurmagomedov and his family, writing, in part, "Hey guys, why couldn't Khabib's dad gain entry to America ever? What was the issue there? He was never allowed access, and now you hear all what is taking place currently. The from their gym down, while in the middle of inflicting an attack in their own country, with Khabib then subsequently fleeing the country." Michael Chandler saw Conor was active on social media and decided to fire back at Conor McGregor's tweet, saying, "Stop it, Conor. If you had half the balls that Donald Trump had, you would have shown up June 29th. Instead, you're no more walking, beer-chugging Austin 316 style at a local fight show motorcycle rally in South Dakota, a red 100% MAGA state by the way." To which Conor McGregor responded by saying, "Bro, he doesn't even know who the F you are, lol. He probably thinks you're a little broke begging arswipe." And then Chandler fired back by saying, "He does, Conor, but that's neither here nor there. Here's the deal. I beat your ass in December. I bet my entire career on it. End the year back flipping over your lifeless body on the canvas." Conor then followed it up with this lengthy post. "My man, it was an abysmal choice for fighter. Be real with yourself, please. Horrific. And yes, I look forward to December. It was going to be Big Bear originally for my camp, but now it will be Colorado Springs instead. Better facilities, where the US Olympic athletes train. I arrive summer end. I will be ready for what you bring. And yes, you will be doing your backflip alright, but it will be from the speed and accuracy of my backhand that will be making you flip. I'm going to flip you like a pancake." Michael Chandler reacted to that by saying he thinks the fight is off. Never mind guys, I think it's time I finally admit the fight is off. He's still in stage 2 of 7 of grief pertaining to his career being over. Figured he'd be closer to 5 by now. Godspeed, Conor McGregor. And the online jabs ended with Conor McGregor threatening to replace Michael Chandler with Max Holloway in December. Do you think Conor McGregor will fight in December? Let us know down in the comment section below. Now let's talk about Tony Ferguson's next UFC opponent. This past weekend, Tony Ferguson was unable to snap his losing streak, losing to Michael Chiesa via first-round submission in Abu Dhabi. Leading up to the fight, Ferguson was aware that he was in a must-win position and needed a win in order to prevent himself from being released. Now, with another loss on his record, Ferguson is looking towards the future, likely with other promotions. The way John Anik sees things, however, despite the loss, there's another opponent that makes sense for Ferguson inside the UFC. During a recent episode of Submission Radio, he weighed in on El Cucuy's future.
I was Googling Joe Lozon to make sure that he never fought Tony Ferguson, because as I sit here and think about opponents that might make sense for Tony to try to realize some sort of success, Joe Lozon still has fights left on his contract and for whatever reason hasn't competed, but I think that fight makes some sense. The first fighter.
While Ferguson had initially said that he didn't want to fight anywhere besides the UFC, he has since teased a jump to another promotion, saying that if his fans would travel to Abu Dhabi to watch him compete, they would follow him to another promotion as well. Next, let's take a look at UFC updates. Following this weekend's UFC Fight Night Abu Dhabi card, let's look at today's UFC fight updates, starting with Neil Magny signing a new 4-fight contract with the UFC. The welterweight vet broke the news in an interview with Ryan Jarrell this week, leading up to this clash with Michael Morales later this month, where he'll be looking to build on a victory over Mike Mallet back in January. In addition, we also have a change to this weekend's UFC Vegas 95 card, with the scheduled Javid Basharat versus Chris Gutierrez fight scrapped from the event. So far, no word yet on whether the UFC will look to rebook this fight or find the pair new opponents. Following this weekend's card in Abu Dhabi, Shara Magomedov is also now apparently a free agent. As he explained in a Russian-speaking interview with Red Corner MMA, however, he plans to re-sign with the UFC. I've just had my last fight under current contract. Now I'm hoping to get a new one. My managers are Ali Abdelaziz and Rizvan Magomedov. They are top-notch managers, so I trust them in all respects, and I don't worry at all. Last but certainly not least in the way of UFC fight updates, we have a new addition to the UFC 308 card on October 26th, with Bruno Ferreira and Abus Magomedov reportedly set to throw down in Abu Dhabi. Ferreira will be looking to build on a 2-fight winning streak, while on the flip side, Magomedov will be looking to build on a win over Warley Alves back in May. Next, let's take a look at Jake Paul breaks silence on Alex Pereira call-out. After his recent win over Mike Perry, Jake Paul called out both Mike Tyson and Alex Pereira in his post-fight interview. As Michael Bisping explained in the days following the fight, the call-out was a safe one for Paul, who knows that a bout between him and Pereira will never happen, given that Dana White and the UFC would never go along with co-promoting the fight. Despite that, Paul recently doubled down on his call-out of Pereira during an episode of the Full Send podcast.
Then I call him out, and people are like, "Oh, Jake's crazy."
That goes through Dana, right?
And I'm like, yo, like, what do you people want?
I think the people's opinion is like he's calling these people out because he knows it'll never happen.
Pereira's not
he
gonna
knows
happen.
it's not going to happen.
You don't think it'll happen? You're friends with Dana. Tell Dana, bro.
Well, I don't think it's possible, right?
But why not?
Because he's like,
if we're gonna
he's
sell
in his prime.
But if we're gonna sell 2 million pay-per-views, this is a business at the end of the day.
But I don't think they care about like a quick buck like that. You think?
I think so for sure. Especially because I think that the pay-per-view numbers in this industry are going down. There's too much illegal streaming.
I think
Paul also spoke about Dana White and the respect he has for White, despite the two being at odds in the past.
No, people think I hate the
So
UFC.
sick.
I don't.
I think Dana's hurt by you. I don't know if he's hurt. I love Dana.
Yeah, but also like I
You have
didn't
to bow down
Dana's
to the
the best
Godfather.
guy.
But,
Yeah,
but that's
he
what
is.
I'm saying. But like, I also have a lot of respect for like his RNC speech, bro, was amazing. Like, we agree on so many things, and I think he has a great side of him. And I'm sure we'd be friends, maybe in this life, maybe in a different life. I just want fighters to get paid more. That's it.
For his part, when asked about Paul's call-out of Alex Pereira, Dana White said that he doesn't think about Jake Paul and didn't pay any attention to his call-out after he heard about it. Next up, let's take a look at Tim Welch talks about feud with Aljamain Sterling. Back in May, Aljamain Sterling took aim at Tim Welch, stating that if Sean O'Malley's coach wants to talk trash to fighters like he and Merab Dvalishvili, that he's quote-unquote eligible to catch hands. With Dvalishvili recently saying that he wants to slap Welch, his feud with the Sarah Longo team is more relevant than ever. While speaking on a recent episode of Submission Radio, Welch opened up about his beef with the team leading up to the O'Malley and Dvalishvili clash at the Sphere in September.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're so bitter. They let the little curly-haired funny guy who makes all these videos, who has tattoos on his face, he's just Sean flatlined him. He punched him and he dropped bombs on him, hammered him, forced him to turtle up. In this world title fight with the world championship on the line, and you're fighting the Sugar Show. I'm glad you were thinking about me and not thinking about the fight you were in.
With things heating up and tension rising on both sides, it's safe to say that UFC will likely have plenty of security on hand during fight week. Next up, let's take a look at serious allegations on Alex Pereira and 21-year-old girl. On Monday, a 21-year-old TikTok user made some serious accusations against Alex Pereira, stemming from an encounter on the weekend of UFC 302. As the woman alleged in a series of TikTok videos, her friend wound up connecting with an individual named Mel, who is reportedly a translator or assistant for Pereira. After the two connected on Instagram, the girl and her friend, who is now accusing Pereira of assaulting her, attended a private training session at Cruz Mixed Martial Arts Academy in New Jersey. She and Pereira were photographed together at the time. However, as she has claimed, Pereira also allegedly attempted to kiss her without her consent. Later on in the night, Pereira, the two girls, one of whom was 20 years old, and the champ's translator, Mel, allegedly went out to dinner, which led to another meetup later that weekend in Pereira's hotel, where things allegedly became non-consensual.
The only time he spoke English this entire time that I was with him was to ask me to help him put it, and then he assaulted me. Afterwards, he got up, he took a shower, I laid in bed, just kind of like disassociated, not even really like realizing what had just happened.
The MMA community was shocked by these allegations, with Jared Gordon writing, "Why would someone go to TikTok for allegations? Or does she also contact the authorities?" Another fan responded, writing, "UFC needs to launch an investigation at the least. Accusations like this ain't good." Another wrote, "If there's no police involvement, I don't believe you. Sorry." One member of the MMA community added, "She's also got an OnlyFans and was doing OnlyFans promo for it after the alleged happened. If she's telling the truth, then I hope she gets justice. But one thing I know is the scam and lawsuit culture in New Jersey is crazy. So I immediately thought this was some trying to get a come up. Over the last 15 years, I've been reading body language as part of my job. She comes across as very animated and rehearsed. Although reading body language is only a tool, it's not 100%. She should take him to court. If she's lying, she should get at least 10 years in jail. Whatever jail time he could get, fake accusers should get double. That might be some of the worst acting I've ever seen. If she really got, why didn't she go to the police? Why TikTok? It's ridiculous how women run to social media instead of the authorities when they're victims of a crime. Her need for attention on social media overrides putting a criminal in jail. Let's face the truth, the sex was consensual. You just feel regret now and want to bring him down in the process. This is a clear clout grab. As the woman alleged, she believes many of the encounters the two had, both at the gym and at the Marriott hotel in question, were captured on security cameras. Because of that, she explained that she wants to obtain the security camera footage to back up her story. However, so far, she hasn't done so. Top comments. Dana's glazing on Jon Jones is ridiculous. GOAT is about your entire career. Pound for pound is about today. We're going to be a week away from Jones versus Stipe, and Stipe will pull out a few days prior to having Aspinall called in as last-minute fighter, giving Jones the slight advantage. I honestly think Sugar could sleep Umar in a flash. Sean's striking is truly next level, and he's too fast and too damn long for anyone in bantamweight.